Welcome, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, to Black World TV, the new black media, your black and intelligent news source. Family, today's video is about the fear of this 5G technology and some things that I think you need to be aware of, because after all, there's a lot of information out there and, how shall I say, misinformation out there that's being promoted. And I just want you to hear the other side of the coin. So with that, there's some other people out there that's promoting this 5G technology. Why? Because they say it's faster. They claim that, oh my God, we're going to be able to use robots remotely. You're going to be able to perform surgery remotely. You're going to be able to control everything just by the tone of your voice when you step out your door. Well, that might be true, but it's at a cost. This 5G technology replaces the 4G large high-power cell towers with many more swarms of smaller cell stations, and that's to our disadvantage. You see, there's not been any testing of this technology whatsoever, and that's a problem. You've heard from some of these other so-called intellectuals, these so-called teachers of higher learning. They tell you that these towers are super high. They're going to be very high, so it's not going to have any effect on humankind. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that that first and foremost is incorrect and false information. And you'll see that in the upcoming video after this message. The second thing is that the telecommunications companies, they're going to have to invest heavily into outfitting each city with thousands of these new antennas, okay? And the full rollout of this technology will cost billions of dollars. That's going to take well into the 2030s and probably even more to pay for. Family, these other voices who are telling you false information, they seem to be infatuated or fascinated with this new technology. And with good reason. It's going to provide a lot of opportunity. But at what risk? At what risk to our safety, to our health, and to humanity? And so I say to those other voices out there pushing that agenda, instead of just pushing the agenda and how much you like this fast technology, stick to the scientific facts. That's what you should come with. If you want to teach our people right information, stick to the facts. So family, before I leave this message here, please like and share this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Black World TV, the new black media, your black and intelligent news source. With that, let's proceed to this important message.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Welcome everybody to the White House. This is White House 5G Summit. My name is Justin Clark. I'm the Director of Public Liaison, and we are thrilled to have you here today. Really happy to be joined by a lot of leaders in industry, members of Congress and the Senate, White House leaders on this, and people from the FCC. Before we start, one, we are government, so don't assume we know anything, okay?
I do agree. I don't know anything.
I have become accustomed to giving speeches in my new position on subjects about which I frankly know very little, and we need more cell towers and connections in Connecticut and other states. Ridiculous.
The U.S. is in the lead thanks to our private sector as well as the work of the FCC and this administration overall. But China and South Korea and many other countries are eager to claim this mantle.
We have every intention to deploy 5G first and reap the benefits of faster and more robust wireless.
Yes, I hope we beat China, of course,
and get to gigabit speeds and low latency, and the race has begun.
Let there be no mistake. The race to 5G is a sprint. Winning the global race to 5G, it's a national priority. We must bear in mind the national security implications of winning the race on 5G.
Today we're talking about the importance of being first in 5G, continued commitment to putting America first in the race to 5G.
We're calling it America First, 5G First.
Well, our strategy is called the 5G FAST Plan, a plan to facilitate America's superiority in 5G technology.
Connected devices for health applications, which I love, has the capacity to make people healthier, as I understand it, a lot of medical applications.
The industry is not asking the government for money to build 5G networks. They're asking us to cut the red tape that surrounds infrastructure deployment.
We cannot let today's red tape strangle the 5G future.
The red tape slows and sometimes stops the building of densified network facilities necessary for 5G.
As we continue our efforts to keep government out of the way, so that America can continue its leadership for America to win the race to 5G.
One path is the government regulatory path. The other path is the private enterprise free market. Gales of creative destruction, Schumpeter path. You ever heard that? Gales of creative destruction. It just means let it rip. The new replaces the old.
With 5G, we're on the cusp of another era of American innovation. It means an even more connected world for everyone around us, unlocking the potential of the Internet of Things to become safer, healthier, and more sustainable for our future.
You know, sometimes, look, we all believe in the 10th Amendment, but sometimes you have to override it. 36 bill permits that kind of override. We're not here to be completely heavy-handed, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And some of these states or cities that don't want to cooperate want to shake us down. We can't allow obstacles and barriers to stop this movement. That's all.
Faster, better, more reliable internet. That's the promise of 5G technology, but there is also the peril. Health hazards associated with radio frequency that is higher also and requires more transmitters and antennas. And the stark, simple fact is the health hazards are unknown and unstudied. And that is a sign of neglect and disregard on the part of the Federal Communications Commission that seems unacceptable. There have been no answers so far. The FCC basically has said everything's fine, but in order to reach a conclusion about the health and safety of this new technology, we need facts. Mr. Chairman, thank you for having this hearing. 5G, as you well know, also uses higher frequency waves that don't travel as far and will rely on a network of hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of small cell sites. And the question then is, are there any health implications, any public safety implications to those additional sites that are likely to be located close to homes, schools, workplaces, and closer to the ground? Correct?
Correct, Senator. Yes.
So my question for you, particularly Mr. Gillen and Mr. Berry, how much money has the industry committed to supporting additional independent research? I stress independent research. Is that independent research ongoing? Has any been completed? Where can consumers look for it? And we're talking about research on the biological effects of this new technology.
Thank you, Senator. I think, thank you for your focus on the issue. Safety is paramount, and as you alluded to, we rely on the expert agencies, we rely on the findings of the FDA and others as to the requirements to keep all of us safe. There are no industry-backed studies, to my knowledge right now. Happy to visit with you as to what opportunities you think there needs to be more studies, and we're always for more science. We also rely on what the scientists tell us.
So essentially, the answer to my question, how much money? Zero.
I can certainly follow up with you, Senator. To my knowledge, there's no active studies being backed by industry today.
Anybody else know of industry commitments to back research, fund it, support it, to ascertain scientifically the health effect?
No, I'm not aware of any.
So there really is no research ongoing. We're kind of flying blind here, so far as health and safety is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
An onslaught's not an improper word, it's a bombardment. So instead of a cell tower 1 mile or 2 miles from you and you still have cell phone service, we're going to have antennas every block, and some poor soul is going to have one mounted to a utility pole maybe less than 20 meters from their home. So this kind of, invasive bombardment with this many antennas, I mean, just in 1 square mile, if you do the math, 1 per block and 16 blocks per mile, that's about 250 antennas per square mile. The millimeter wave is untested. Former FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler openly said that they don't plan to test.
We won't wait for the standards.
And then our appeal also addresses the fact that there's a plan to roll out 5G through satellites in low Earth orbit. So 20,000 satellites, which will cover every square foot of the planet with a 5G signal.
Eviscerate microbial DNA inside human beings, which is our effective operating system, number one. So it may not impact human DNA in laboratory experiments right now, and they're saying it doesn't impact human DNA. But given that human DNA is less than 1% of the cellular DNA in the human body, the rest of the cellular DNA is microbial, and we know that this will eviscerate microbial DNA. So we're talking about a takedown of the operating system of human beings.
Exactly. I couldn't have put it better myself.
John Brandt.
Good morning, Mr. Brandt. Wow, this is Amanda.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Hi, I've been trying to get a hold of you for months now. You guys are covering up chemtrails.
No, we are not covering it. We have no reason to cover up chemtrails.
Of course, you have every reason to cover it up. Every reason. It's called
What
losing your
reason
job.
would that be?
Oh, well, you personally, you would lose your job if you were to reveal anything to me, and it's probably unsafe for you to even be speaking about this, considering the types of individuals you work for.
It's not unsafe.
It is unsafe.
There's no problem with us talking on. You're a citizen. You're making a complaint.
Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul.
It's a complaint in an area that we don't have authority to regulate.
So the connection between chemtrails and 5G.
It's all interconnected. The metallized particulates, that would allow the 5G phased array, so basically the radar, it would allow it to be able to identify you, so it can watch you, it can identify you in your own home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For the last X amount of years, we've been through chemtrailing, and that is now the cat is out of the box. We've had these nanoparticulates raining down on humanity for years now, impregnating our bodies, by best account staying inside our bodies. Those nanoparticulates, what you're saying, are building up a kind of a phosphorescence glow capability so that we can be flagged up in our homes, behind concrete and steel, inside bunkers, in the basement, doesn't matter where you are. The 5G will be able to now triangulate, map, and read you because you, as a living being, are impregnated with these nanoparticulates, which are acting as a kind of transmission and reception technology.
It's exactly, absolutely exactly.
You have to consider that DNA also works as a fractal antenna, which is able to send and receive and also to process signals under the form of radio frequencies. Well, then there is no doubt that artificial radio frequencies, such as those of cell towers, and in particular these new types of towers that have a much higher density of signals, they may somehow interfere with the ability of DNA to retain and transmit biological signals. So this is one level of danger that very few biologists are aware of
and there are clear indications of a link between increased electromagnetic fields and autism spectrum disorders.
We took 10 autistic children and went back to the sleeping location where the mother was when she was pregnant with that child, and compared it with the sleeping location of a mother that gave birth to healthy children. We had 10 mothers in that group, 10 mothers in this group, and in the group of the autistic children, we found that the measurements that we got for the microwave exposure was elevated compared to the group of children that were normal. The fetus is affected. The exposure to man-made electromagnetic fields has become the first factor that could be isolated ever in autism that could predict autism.
All over the world. And it's a weapon that you don't know you're being targeted, because the dose is very, very low, which is actually more dangerous than a high dose. It's very, very low, and it may take a year or two, but you can cause neurological damage and cancers with low-level microwaves, and you can make all your opponents sick. It's a perfect weapon for a government.
Community will be under attack. If we can't produce food, if we kill all the pollinators, we're in serious trouble.
The takeaway is that 5G, the $1 trillion rollout of 5G by our friendly local government, is definitely a weapon system masquerading as a modern efficiency technology.
It most certainly is. And what I put it down to, it's economic terrorism. There is no value, nil, in killing off your population, in destroying your ability to grow food, to kill all your pollinators. They may have a nice financial number on a piece of paper, but in reality, dementia, diabetes, all the things that are currently crippling the NHS, a burden on the country, illness, mental health issues, the focus of that cause can be identified and has been identified in the science. The science is proven. The epidemiological data that we're seeing on the street is now substantiating that science.
The FCC has been described by Harvard University's Center for Ethics writer Norman Alster as the most captured agency in D.C., acting more as an industry cheerleader than a regulator. This is especially true today with 5G, where there are serious safety concerns and potentially misleading information coming from the FCC.
For example, the previous chairman of the FCC is Tom Wheeler. He was the head of the Wireless Lobby Association for 14 years. Now remember, Obama told us there would be no lobbies in his administration, so he took the biggest lobby and put him as a head of the FCC.
And that's damn important. And that's damn important.
In 1993, the FCC started a rulemaking to adopt the IEEE regulations on this issue. Section 704 was passed in 1996. This is how our rights in regards to health were taken away by the wireless industry. What this legislation did, it gave the power to regulate the health effects of wireless technology to the FCC. FCC is a spectrum auctioning agency. It's not a health agency. They don't even have one biomedical person on their team. And then the other thing that Section 704 did, it actually took the power from the states to regulate location of cell towers based on health. And what does it mean? It means that if they want to put a cell tower in front of your home, you cannot go to your city council and say, hey, stop, I don't want it. I just heard in a lecture that there are 10,000 studies proving that it's harmful. I don't want it. My child is sick. They will tell you, stop. You're not allowed to mention this in the city council because Section 704 says that if you will, and if the application will be rejected, the city will be sued, can be sued by the wireless industry.
The FCC is completely unprepared, unable, and possibly unwilling to oversee 5G for safety, even as it barrels toward us. They are falling back on tired definitions and panaceas long since disproven by science. To make matters worse, recent FCC rulings and numerous industry-friendly bills passed at state and federal levels between 2016 and 2018 removed the last vestiges of local and state review over infrastructure siting, just when we need it the most.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what's making people sick around here while y'all running y'all mouth talking about coronavirus. You see that tire right there? You see that right there? That's what's making people sick. That's right there. It's taking out radiation like a microwave, which weakens your immune system, which zaps the oxygen out your blood, which gives you the appearance that you have the flu-like symptoms. This crap right here, they're trying to take us out of here while y'all run your damn mouth. That right there, that's what's making people sick, and that's what they plan on using to take us out of here. And these devices right here weren't even around here about a month ago. They weren't even around here a month ago. I'm going to show y'all something. These weren't even around here. They're trying to take people out of the black neighborhood. Look at this right here. This wasn't even right here as of 2 weeks ago. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. See it? While y'all running your damn mouths, you need to be fucking praying without seats. This is what they're doing. That wasn't even right there last week. They're all over here. My chest is hurting. I feel a heat sensation in my body. This is what's doing it. This is why black folks is getting cancer and getting sick. This is what they're doing. Look at that. That wasn't even right there last week, about a week or two ago. While they got y'all at home at night, look at that right there. They're everywhere. They're trying to take us out. And y'all running your damn mouth, hating on each other, not fucking listening to me. Think you know everything, and I'm trying to warn y'all to make preparations. Shut up and listen. I'm irate because I see a lot of death happening, and y'all running your fucking mouth. They got these things up everywhere. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. You see that right there? What the hell is that supposed to be? See, my eyes are open. I don't have my damn head in the fucking quicksand. And you want to come in and run your mouth when I'm trying to wake people up and warn y'all asses. They trying to take us out. Look at this right here. Look at that right there. They are everywhere. That's why they want us at home at night. Pass this video and share it.
I believe so too, bro. And a lot of people is not aware of 5G and the health benefits of it. 5G is game over. It's frying us. So it's just like in Wuhan when that's the first place they really rolled out 5G. Exactly. And I believe here it was New York City, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Because in New York, look at the rates going up of people with coronavirus. Now how they diagnosing all these people when they say they ain't got no tests? Right or wrong?
Facts. Yo, you know what's crazy? The symptoms that they're saying is caused by this virus are the same exact symptoms from radiation contamination. They're talking about loss of taste, loss of smell, hair loss, vomiting, diarrhea. Pretty soon they're going to say a new symptom is blood in your stool and blood in your urine. Constant parchness, that you'll have an unquenchable thirst because radiation boils the water molecules in your brain, in your respiratory tract, and in your reproductive system. So don't be surprised when this shit disappears and 10 years later it comes back, because that's what's going to happen. You're sterile and you can't produce.
Guys, just wanted to do an update to let you know how my senses are. Still have none, no smell, no taste. I think I'm day 7 or day 8 now. I'm getting worried. My wife can't smell, she can't taste now, and I've got 2 little children that are 9 and 8. I phoned in NHS 111 and they're saying it's not a recognised symptoms of COVID-19, but I don't know. Just want to give you an update. Here's a bit of cucumber. Just taste like wallpaper paste. 1 big onion. That's me cutting the onion up. I'll peel a bit of the skin back. Nothing at all. You know, probably one of the warm things that everybody's got at home. Other brands are available. Nothing whatsoever. Tabasco sauce. know, I'm concerned. I've got little children. I'm sleeping in a spare room. I'm being told it's not a symptom of COVID-19, or it might be a symptom. So I'd love some help and clarification on it, and probably the hottest thing that you can get, West Indian hot pepper sauce in Kona. You know, this stuff's like fire. There you go. You can see that's a whole spoon of it. And I can't even smell it. And I can't even taste it. Not a thing. Everybody out there, stay safe. Follow these guidelines that are set out by a government. Stay home, protect the NHS, and save lives. Hope you're well.
James, one of our sports people, had a salivary gland tumor. That is another cell phone tumor. You didn't hear about it because immediately after that was discovered, he was paid by Samsung to become their spokesperson.
We cool. Great. So we have a tree here. Not a very good looking tree. All the bark's falling off. All on the left hand side. Look on the left hand side of that tree. On the right hand side. It's alright. Yeah. Right, well look at the right hand side of the tree. Look at the flower. Look at the bushes. Look at the green bushes. Yeah. Very nice. Look at the left hand side. Dead. You know why? Because that's right next to it. Look at this. Have you seen anything like that in your life? Got a light right there. The transmitter on the top. Now how is that? Explain that. The right hand side of the tree that's not next to the transmitter, the growing away from it, is okay. I mean look at this, look how shocking. Look at it. All the bark falling off. All dead. Totally dead. Far too close. And then nice look at the bark. All on the left hand side, look. Look how close it is to the light. These 5G transmitters are lethal. If that's what it's doing to a tree, right next to a tree, think about what these are doing to our health.
Black World TV, the new black media, your black and intelligent news source. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe.